If you're interested in creating puzzle books, but you want something that's a little bit different than a traditional Sudoku, well, I'm going to introduce you to these mystery puzzle books that are selling like hotcakes right now, and an app that's coming out this week that will allow you to create these faster than I ever thought possible. I'm going to walk you through that, as well as, if you stick around to the end, I will tell you exactly what's included in the different tiers, so you know before you buy anything exactly what to expect. So let me flip onto Amazon and show you what I'm talking about with these mystery puzzle books. Okay, so here I am on Amazon, and as you can see, I just started typing in the word murder, and I want to show you that in incognito mode, which means it's not taking into account any of my search history. I type in the word murder, and if I hit the space bar, the very first thing that pops up is murder mystery puzzle books, which is exactly what we're talking about. And if you look further down, you'll see other variations of it: murder she searched puzzle books, things like that. So we're going to click on the very first one. These are some of the books that are on there right now. Murdoku is one of the most popular right now. So as you can see, if you're not familiar with these, basically it's like the board game Clue, but mixed with a logic puzzle. So this is what it looks like. You're going to create something very similar to that using this app that I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the app I'm talking about. It's called Shigai Royalty, and it's created by a combination of Ike Paz and Luke Baus, and they've made some amazing tools in the past, and this one is no different. So I have full access to it. So I'm going to show you everything that you can do. And again, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you what's included in each of the tiers, so you know exactly what to expect. I can create just one page at a time, or I can do bulk. So I'm going to click on the bulk. All right. And over here is a view of what it looks like. Let's make it bigger so we can actually see it. All right. So the first thing I can do is I can go in here and I can change the page size. So the one I showed you is actually a 6x9. I would probably do 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10, depending on my niche, but let's just go 8 by 10 for now. The different variants, it's going to default to the classic whodunit. But if you look, you have a lying killer, the eyewitness, the telltale, one wasn't there, the split senses, and so on. Again, I'm just going to stick with the classic whodunit. Over here, there is an option to turn on if-then logic, so it makes it a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to do that right now, but it's an option. You can go in here. This is currently in beta, but you can select the book language. I'm going to keep it as English. Now over here, this is again going to add a little bit to the complexity. All right, over here, we have the different, the number of suspects, how big the grid's going to be. Think of a traditional Sudoku as far as the grid. You can go all the way up to a 16 by 16. And again, this also has to do with the number of suspects that are in there as well. I'm going to keep mine at a 7 by 7 for now. All right. Next up is the page layout. Page layout, you can have classic or you can have premium. If I click on premium, you can see it's a lot more in-depth and detailed. All right. I'm going to put it back to classic. One thing that I love that the original book does, the Murdoku, is it allows you to have a 2-page spread. So see on this one, you've got the puzzle, and then down here you have what the suspects, what they look like and what they've said. So we can have that over here, or I can put it as a 2-page spread, and it allows more room for the actual puzzle itself. And then the other page is going to have what the pictures of the suspects and what they've said. So again, that's completely up to you how you want to do it, whether you want to do all on one page or if you want to have it on a 2-page spread. Also have an option for large print. One thing that should be noted is as I selected classic, if I picked the premium case, then it would default to the 2-page spread because just based on the layout, that's what it defaults to. You have an option here to turn on the notes grid, which I actually like. This can show you a page with just the statements. I actually like the grid below it right here. So it allows you to kind of pencil things out so you can visualize it a little bit better before you do it on the actual puzzle. Again, you don't have to, but you can. So those are the notes grid right there. Over here, we have the difficulty. They've got easy, medium, hard, expert, and dragon, which for the dragon needs to be a 9 by 9 or greater. All right, so we're going to stick with medium for now. We have additional variants with the elite. I can go in here with the additional variants and take the exact same puzzles and just immediately convert them into the same puzzles, but with a different variant, different look and different feel. Again, I can switch to large print, make it a pocket 6 by 9, go to black and white. Next up is the mystery, the type of mystery it is. So again, it's going to default to the classic murder mystery, but We also have ability to do things that are more family friendly. So things like find a thief, the missing present, the wedding ring mystery, Thanksgiving pie thief, and then some that are specific for kids, find the cookie thief and so on. You even have the option to build your own. But again, we're just going to stick with the classic murder mystery. If I wanted to, I could customize my cast. Maybe I want to make it a book that's specific to my family. So I want to, use the names and even the images of family members instead. So this is something, if you want to do it instead of selling it on KDP, maybe you want to do it and sell it on Etsy and make it something that's specific to your customer. You can do that using the customized cast. You can also go in here and specify who did it. Again, under the customized cast, the clues, because I selected bulk, I can select the clue types and I can select what kinds of clues I want to be allowed. All right, I'm just going to leave it defaulted to all for now. The location, this customizes and controls the room names and what eligible objects there are. So I can, say surprise me and it'll just generate or wants, or I can make a corporate headquarters, a grand hotel, an ocean liner. That might be nice. A midnight express. So like a train, Pirates Treasure Island, the museum, Happy Trails Rescue, Sunnybrook Farms. Again, so many different options that we have. Again, if we're going to do something more holiday related, North Pole Workshop or whatever. So I'm going to go with the Grand Hotel. All right. As you can see, it quickly changed everything right here. Then the artwork style, what do you want it to look like? Right now it's illustrated, but I can change it to watercolor storybook. And so it'll change the illustrations accordingly. Modern, outlined, Art Deco, comic adventure, maybe. So again, it varies depending on the art style that I want to go with. Now I can go to page design and do I want borders around it? Do I want, headers? What do I want the headers to look like? So maybe I'll do rounded borders, medium thickness. And then for the header style, let's go with a case file dossier. So it looks a little bit more like a noir type of book and type of theme. Again, you can even change the folder color. I can add other items in here like time and solve chips and things like that. Coded clues, I'm going to turn off for now. This is where one character's statement is going to be in cipher. So you have to actually figure out the cipher. And so I can click in here and set a cipher, whether I want A to Z or shift by 3. Again, adding to the complexity, really can dial in the complexity with these. Speaking of dialing in, we can dial in what we want the paper to look like. Do you want it to be white, like a white background like this? We can do cream paper. Again, this is just the look, not the actual paper that you're printing it on. That's done in KDP. But we can do ivory, we can do aged, again, if you're going for that noir type look, but I'm just gonna stick with the white. This again is customizing the book. So if you want to have a footer at the bottom, you can call it whatever your book is, volume 1, volume 2, the title of the book, whatever, just again, to add some more uniqueness to your book. Any author branding you have, your author name, if you want that on there as well, you can do that. Right now, it's turned off, but you can put it at the bottom left, the bottom center, the bottom right. You can even add in your own logo if you want to do that here. And then we're going to apply the designs to all the pages. All right, apply to all. All right, so now we're up to the print color. This is important if you want to keep your price down low, you want to keep your profits high. Then you probably wouldn't want to go with color. You probably want to go with black and white. Personally, I think that making it color makes it seem more classy, seem more high end, and so you can charge a higher price for it. So you can go with the color, and again, it changes right here. So if you want to go black and white, this is what it would look like. If you want to go grayscale, it would be just a little bit darker. And then if you want to go color, it would look like this. What you want the floor treatment to look like, right now it's elite textured, but you can make it just clean. So it doesn't really have the different colors or layouts. So that's another spot where you could potentially reduce the amount of color. So if I did black and white here, it wouldn't be that dramatic. Again, I'm going to go with color. You can do flat color, or again, you can do the elite textured. So you can see the tiles and on the floor and things like that, the wood grain and all of that. So again, just to add to what you want your book to look like, how high end do you want it to appear? I would probably go with flat color, just like that. And then you can even go into adding furniture footprints, enhanced doorway markers and things like that. Again, depending on the tier that you have, you can even world build if you want to create your own universe. Maybe you're writing mystery books or whatever kind of written book, and you want to make this as a companion book to that. You can do that in here, creating your own worlds, building your own grids and things like that. Again, you can customize the title, or you can choose to hide the page title. If you didn't want a page title, I don't know why you would, but if you didn't want that, you could do that. And then over here, it will actually put the case number after it or before it, depending on what you select. So this is a case hook. That is at the very top, there is a victim sentence. It builds into the atmosphere of the mystery, right? Instead of it feeling like just a logic puzzle, you feel like there's a victim, you feel like there's suspects. The last things that I want to show you that I personally like is over here on the legend. Right now you've got numbers across the top and numbers along the side. I actually prefer the columns to have letters. So you've got numbers and letters. So for me, it's less confusing. So I can say like A1, B2, that kind of thing, as opposed to 1-1. And then you have to remember, well, which is the column, which is the row. So again, that's just a personal preference, but I love the fact that you have that option to change that for your books. And then over here, you can add a tick box to each statement. So that way, as you figure it out, you can mark the little tick box telling yourself that you figured it out and that you've already applied it, so you don't have to go back and try to remember what you did. And then down here, you're going to go in and just select the number of pages in your book. This is going to be the number of puzzles you want per page. I like 1 per page. I think 2 is cramming it a bit too much, especially if you're going to start adding in the notes sections like we had before. I think 2 is a bit much, especially if you're doing it as a 6x9. But so I'm just going to stick with 1. And then number of pages, I would make it bigger. I'd make it, 50, 60, however many, depending on how big I want the book to be. In case like this, just to generate it fairly quickly, I'm going to just say 10. You can also put it into story mode to where it weaves into an actual story and makes it all seem cohesive, as opposed to just being a puzzle book. There's a story behind it. And depending on who your target audience is for, will determine if you want to do the story mode. And again, that's AI generated, so take with that as you will. And then down here, you can customize it even more, changing the layout, the typography, things like that. Yeah, this is everything that you can do right here within the system. And then over here, you have even more customization that you can do. So then I'm going to go into here, generate locally. So I'm going to create 20 pages. And if you're wondering why it was 20 pages, because, I only said I was doing 10 puzzles, but it's 10 puzzles. But remember, I selected the 2-page spread. So here we go. So this is the overview and the statements. And then the next one is going to be the actual puzzle, and then so on, just continues. In addition to this, over here, we actually have more customization we can do. I can add in additional pages. I can add in text. I can add in an image if I want. But what I really like is I can go over here and customize whether they're going to be the same level throughout, or maybe I want it to, be easy or medium. But over here, I can actually add in instructions. And so I don't have to write any of this. So if I click on the first page and I go to here and I want it to show how to solve it, I can add that page, and there we go. And I can just drag this all the way up, right? And then I can just drag this over to the front. Okay, so we have the how to solve. So again, I didn't have to create that myself. Can also put in a front matter. So the title and table of contents. If I want, cut out bookmarks, if I want to do that, add in a blank page, a copyright page. You can even at the end put in a certificate, so people can feel like they actually achieved something when they figured the whole book out. So again, all of these are pre-created. You don't have to create them yourself. So I'm going to show you real quick the copyright page, and I add it. It's going to ask me the author's name. So let's just say Wheeler, create the page. There goes. It creates the whole page, not just, my name, but it creates the all rights reserved. Again, if I want to do a title page and all those different options, I can even put in a blank page in between each one, or maybe a blank page between the copyright page and the starting of it, whatever I want, I can do that. And again, they're already created for me. And then when I'm done, I just go in and click export all, and that's it. So when you hit export all, you have some additional options here. So it already, as you can see, you can do PNGs, 300 DPI. So it's perfect for print quality on KDP. So you can download it as a PNG and get a zip file, or you can download it as a single PDF, PPTX, and SVGs, specifically the PDF. If this is going to be your book, and again, we've got all the interior done. We've got the how to solve and all of that already created. If there's nothing else you want to add, it's your PDF. It's a single PDF. It's done. But if maybe you wanted to add additional things to it, or maybe you want it to be part of another book that you're creating, you just want pieces of it, you don't want an entire book on these murder type logic puzzles, then again, you can do it as a PNG. So I'm going to do PDF. All right, so here we go. Here's the copyright page, the how to solve, and we got the puzzle. Again, it's 2 pages, so you see what they've said, and then this is the actual puzzle itself. I didn't put the grids on this one, that went underneath it, the note grid, but again, here's the tick boxes. There we go. So let's go over what's included in each tier so you know exactly what to expect. So going back to the top, and I'm going to look off screen to make sure I don't forget anything. On the front end, the very first purchase, you're going to get the classic whodunit engine, which is what I just ran, the classic whodunit. The good thing to know is that because this is auto-generated in this software, you don't have to worry about the logic. Is the logic working or is it not working? There's no guessing. It's pure logic. The clues and everything will not require your customers to guess. If they use logic, they'll be able to figure it out. Remember, I talked about the complexity levels, all 5 complexity levels, even dragon. So you've got easy, medium, hard, expert, and dragon are all included in the initial purchase, your front end offer. The grid sizes going from right here, everything from a 6x6 to a 16x16, that's all included in the front end offer. The customization, the fact that you can customize your own cast, including photo uploading, customizing the rooms, to where you can basically build your own layout. All of that is included in the front end offer as well. Now right here under mystery mode, as you can see, I went to classic and I picked murder mystery. This is included in your front end offer. All of these other ones are not, but the murder mystery, if that's what you're going for, that's included in the front end offer. And when it comes to the exports, you have with the front end offer, you have unlimited PNG exports. So if you want to just export the images, you have unlimited exports. If you want to export PDFs, then you have 100 exports allowed in PDFs per month, making your product ready for uploading to Amazon KDP, Etsy, or even Teachers Pay Teachers, especially if you do the pictures, so you can do 1 page at a time. So now for the first upgrade, which is called Pro, as you saw, as I scroll through here, there were some things that were listed as Pro. This one right here, Lying Killer. What this means is one of the suspects is going to be lying. So again, that adds to the complexity. So that's included in the upgrade, in the first upgrade. Also, the one wasn't there. That means one person has an alibi. So they're completely eliminated right off the bat. Again, making it a little bit easier. Over here, all of the family and kids, all 9 of these options, these are all included in the first upgrade. So again, allowing you to create puzzles that are more family friendly and even aimed towards kids. And then when we get down to the art style, the kawaii art type, that cute, fun kid art type that the kids love, that's available in the upgrade as well. When it comes to designs and presentation, this is where you can add in the borders and decorative frames, the tints and the background colors, the dossier style header. That's included in here. This is also where you can get the certificate option to add to your book itself. That's included in this upgrade. Custom fonts, the designing the mansion interior, customizing furniture uploads and things like that, adding your own room elements is included in the first upgrade. You also get unlimited PDF exports as opposed to the 100 that you're limited per month with the front end offer. You also get the option to export to PPTX. And then with the Elite upgrade, you get probably one of the most complex, if you really want to get a super complex, is the Grand Mystery. The Grand Mystery is, as they call it, Boss. That is where there's more than one person who did it. This is where you have a multi-complex suspect, the most complex you can get. So that's included here. You also get the accomplices. That's where you have multiple suspects working together. And so again, adding to the complexity of it. So especially if you're doing it for adults, this is definitely something that you might want to look into. You also have these additional variants that I didn't cover earlier. So the second axis, the split senses, the 2 floors, things like that, all included in this as well. When it comes to logic, you can actually add in if-then conditional logic, which again adds to the complexity, making it even more difficult, even more complex for the user. This is the tier that adds in the cipher. So some of the suspects will answer in cipher, and this will allow you to implement that. Also, when I was doing the modes earlier, you saw there were some that were holiday modes. this adds in the holiday mode. So you've got Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's, 11 different seasonal modes all added in here. And also the custom scenario builder that you can again customize it yourself to make it unique to maybe your own world. Again, if you're a writer, this also adds in this section right here, the additional variants where you can create pocket versions on the fly. You can create large print. So it's geared towards making sure that everything is accessibility focused, all within the Elite upgrade. You also have in here the one click where you can create a story using AI. That's in the Elite. The world builder where you can create your own universe and have the puzzles interact within each other. Again, all within the same world. There's also something over here which I didn't cover, which is the pre-flight. This actually will allow you, as it says right here, will allow you to check the book against KDP's paperback requirements before you even bother exporting. So you don't bother exporting it and then uploading it to KDP and then run through all that and then find out it doesn't validate. There's something wrong with it. You can run the pre-flight and check it immediately. And again, that's included in Elite as well. This is where you also have the language which is currently in beta, but where you can add in Spanish. Right now, I showed you I did English, but it's going to have other languages as well. But you can do that with Elite, and you can export using SVG format if you want that as well. And again, that's all included in the Elite upgrade. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you just want to dabble in this and you just want to find out, is this really something I'm interested in or that I enjoy creating? Even the front end offers so much possibilities and so much customization, all within that one initial purchase. And then if you want to get, the next upgrade up, where you get all the additional, bells and whistles and complexity levels and things like that, go for it. But even the front end offer, I think, is amazing. And again, there's a lot that you can create. You can create multiple books all using just that front end offer. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can head on over to kwheelerbooks.com/mystery. And I'll also have a link in the description and in the first pinned comment. Speaking of comments, I would love to know if you're interested in this kind of puzzle. And if you are, let me know down in the comments. And maybe you're a writer and you want to tie it in with your already existing writing. Let me know that as well. I read every single comment and respond to each and every one. If you found this helpful, especially if you found helpful me adding in and telling you what each tier includes, give this video a thumbs up and let me know that as well. Because if nobody enjoys it, I'll make the video shorter. But I think a lot of people will really find that helpful to know what they're getting before they click buy. Don't let the learning stop here. Check out this video right here, which is one of my favorites that I've done. But if you're not interested in that, our friends over at YouTube say that this video right here is perfect for you. I'll catch you inside one of these videos. And remember to write right.